What's up, guys, and welcome back to FAB with Matt. It has been a while, at least since I've been on.
Yeah, it's been a while since you've been here. Yeah. But hey, the seat's been kept warm.
I don't know, lukewarm at best. Lukewarm. That's probably, Nah. Dennis, obviously, as you guys will know, stepped in, and he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Dennis will still be here. We're going to be alternating the role of host on FAB with Matt. So
it'll be 1 month Dennis, 1 month Aaron, 1 month Dennis, and the view count will tell.
Yeah, I mean, the man couldn't even create his own thumbnail for his episode. So, so I don't know, Dennis.
Yeah, your thumbnail's gone pretty famous from our last episode, Aaron. That was quite
I just saw that art on Mask of Recurring Nightmare, and I thought, you know what? That reminds me of Matt and Dennis. So we ended up a little fun one, which actually I thought you were going to veto. I thought you were Dennis.
I didn't even look at it, to be honest. Yeah. I actually, you offered to do the thumbnail, and I was like, yep, that's fine. And then you sent something through, and I was like, yeah, cool, post. I literally didn't even look at it until after you posted it. I just know you, and I assumed it would be fine. Although I should have known you more.
Well, I thought Dennis is actually an actor. I was like, does he really want his face out there like this? Nah, obviously good sports, but Dennis has done a great job.
Yeah,
obviously, literally does
filling in while you had a baby, and now your kid's what, like 6 months old. He looks after himself. You don't have to look after him anymore. It's easy. You can get back at it.
Yeah, I always say I had. My wife had a baby. And little guy is 8 months now, so basically takes care of himself. So I'm able to do things like, play cards.
Did you leave him in the car? No.
I did wind the window down there. No, he is with his grandmother, who has him on what is now going to be recording days, I guess.
Yeah. Cool.
But it's been awesome. So obviously didn't play much FAB for a while.
Yeah.
There's a good solid at least 6 months where any of you viewers who have had kids know pretty intense time in the beginning. And also, I wanted to be there,
Yeah,
I wanted to free up the time. And
he's a little cutie, man. Full head of hair now. He's crawling around, lifting himself up on windowsills. It's
pretty awesome. But now he doesn't need to be. Well, I should say he still needs to be looked after. But there's a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah.
And obviously a few other things have a little bit more flexibility work-wise as well now. So it means that, recording videos like this in the middle of the day actually is less of a...
It's feasible.
Less of a restraint on me. So I'm back, baby.
Yes.
I'm back. Hopefully that's good news to you guys.
Yeah.
We'll see. But we've made you guys wait long enough. It'll be in the title. You know what you're expecting here on this video. Anyway, we do have a spoiler. I don't know how I lucked out to be on the spoiler episode, but we have a spoiler for Rosetta, and I must admit, I am hyped for this set.
For the set, yes.
For the set, yeah. For the set, I am hyped. Obviously, a huge Runeblade fan since way back in the days when, back in Arcane Rising, first edition, ever since you dropped off a pile of cards to try and suck me and my brother into playing Flesh and Blood, and I built up that my very first deck, which was Viscera.
Yeah.
We didn't know what Arcane Barrier was because you did forget to drop off some equipment pieces, so we thought Rune Chants were the most broken thing you could do in a game. Couldn't stop them. Unpreventable damage.
Yeah.
We thought this game isn't going too far. They've broken it already. But so super hyped for Rosetta. We are lucky enough to have a spoiler card. Some of you guys will have seen a little tease that went out on the weekend just gone. So you will know that it is a Runeblade card that we're spoiling today. Already ahead of time. So should I do the honors?
Go for it.
Okay.
It's a Runeblade card. You do the honors.
Sure. We don't have the physical card in front of us, so hence reading off the phone. But our spoiler card is a Runeblade equipment chess piece, Blood Torn Bodice. We did.
You said that right.
Yeah. We did have a little debate about that. It's a corset, basically. We found out. So blood torn corset. It's 0 block and has the ability action destroy this and an aura you control. Gain 1 resource. Go again.
Yeah.
And this is a common piece. So obviously they're teasing limited. We're going straight into the world premiere. I think that's what they're doing. Now this, in the context of constructed, let's just say it's about as spicy as a potato.
I don't know. You can put some chili powder on your potato. Like there are spots you can make it a little bit more spicy.
We can touch on those.
Yeah,
we'll touch on those. But I think obviously everybody's eyes are set on Tampa for the world premiere. So let's talk about this spoiler in relation to limited.
In relation to limited, it's pretty spicy.
Yeah. So obviously you will know if you've played any limited format in FAB, you guys will know that 1 resource is pivotal.
Yeah, and equipment that adds a resource comes in and is worth a card in so many spots in limited, which is as high a rate as you can really get from equipment.
Yeah, and I think how good this card is going to be is kind of teased by the fact it has no block value.
Yeah.
I feel like in limited, if this had Battle 1/1 or something that, it would be just obscene value.
I mean, cards that block for 1 equipment pieces in limited are already high picks. Yeah. So generally, if a card adds a resource, it's not going to block for 1 in limited.
No. But obviously, we haven't talked about the biggest part of this. Is we've seen some other things in many iterations of this type of card in limited formats previously.
Yeah.
Is it
add a resource with some sort of drawback or some sort of condition
and all these other iterations. They all have some sort of condition tied to it. This one is you have to sacrifice an aura you control.
Yeah, destroy an aura you control. Yeah.
Destroy an aura you control. And LSS, because they're promo cards, has already revealed a whole slew of what the sigil cycle. It's a cycle.
Yeah.
Which span across all the elements and both Runeblade and Wizard. Obviously, this is Runeblade specific, but all the sigils have an ability that when they're destroyed, you get an effect out of them. And previously, normally on the card you have to wait until your next action phase, but with this you actually have a little bit more control, and you can actually sacrifice it straight up to get the value immediately on the turn.
Yeah, so it means if it's putting them in spots where they might have to block if they otherwise wouldn't, if you can destroy a sigil and get a rune chant now and then play an attack and ping them and put them into a spot where they then have to block your attack now. Whereas normally you would have had to wait until the following turn to get that rune chant, right? So I think the spiciest thing about this, the fact that it can set off the sigil straight away because they have go again, is the fact that it will be an upside a decent amount of the time. So where all of these equipments in the past, it's always been you'd have to fill some sort of condition or there'd be some sort of downside to getting a free resource. With this, there is sometimes, but sometimes there's an upside to getting a free resource, which whenever that happens, if that happens, close to once a game, that is great. That is crazy good.
Well, I'm having a look at it now. And actually, I should note, before people get an idea, they have released specifically for limited formats, which initially when I thought this card, I thought it would pair into it. Doesn't actually work. So obviously in limited formats, you get to start with Sanctuary of Aria.
Yeah.
There's a new keyword, so that is a Rosetta macro, so it cannot be sacrificed for this equipment because it doesn't fulfill the aura restriction. But there are plenty. So having a little look through, Sigil of Sanctuary is the Earth instant aura.
Did you not do your homework before this, mate?
Yeah, but I just don't want to stop it, mate. I just don't want to get it wrong. But this one is quite good, I think, because so it has Arcane Shelter 1 and it's an instant speed. So obviously in a format with Runeblades or even with Wizards, we know that Verdant is going to be pinging for 1 if her ability's turned on. So you get to trade that either for a prevention of 1 arcane damage.
Yeah.
Or when it leaves the arena, you get to create an embodiment of Earth token. So obviously, like we've talked about, if you can play this and then sack it off for the equipment piece.
Yeah.
To gain a resource, you also get an embodiment of Earth token, which is amazing going into the
following turn. Yeah.
So you go for a pivot where you're presenting, you're able to use that resource and present more damage thrown at them. You also get to draw up, and if they throw anything at you,
You've got the embodiment of Earth, so that can be worth a couple points on the other
hopefully
side
you
there.
can maybe just get a single card block and then still be able to keep the pressure up. And notably with Florian, if he's turned on, that would make 2 embodiment of Earth, which is
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think in general this is just going to be really, really high pick and limited. Like this I think like any generic equipment that adds a resource is pretty much pack one, pick one in most sets, most limited sets. The downside about this is it's only Runeblade, so it's only going to make half your deck. I mean, it's an upside if you're a Runeblade Forcer, but it's only going to make your deck half the time, which probably makes it slightly worse. But I mean, half the time still a lot of the time.
I will say, in theory, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
But we have seen some limited formats where maybe one of the heroes is not quite up to scratch with some of the others. So there is a chance that if, say, the dance falls off in limited and ideally you kind of want to stay away, maybe it's more like 66% of the chance in the best case. So it's always going to fluctuate. But
I mean, there's still going to be like a 5% chance you play that hero. Yeah, so then it's a 60.
Yeah.
So it's a 50 to 60% chance that you play it, right?
A little bit more, but the difference between that as a, where it is on your pick count could change things drastically. But obviously that sigil was more defensive, making the embodiments, but you also have the sigil of the Arcanite, which when it leaves the arena, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an attack action, you put it into your hand.
Yeah.
And also the sigil of Deadwood, which when it leaves the arena, create a rune chant. And again, if you are Florian, you'll get 2. Yeah. So those are both offensive. If you can pull off those abilities, then you're going to get the resource, and in the Sigil of Arcanite to get an extra card or 2 rune chants. So you're really...
Which can be massive in a pivot point, right?
Exactly.
Or if you're doing like a pitch stack thing in limited or whatever, and like that you can just, you just need like one more card to fill out your stack, then it just becomes ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
It's how you can just pivot and win the game at the end there. So I think this effect is going to be really powerful. It's a resource, and if you set it up well, and it's probably going to come up once a game, it's a resource with an upside. I think even if it's not first pick because you only play it 50-60% of the time, I think there's almost no world where it's not top 3 picks.
Yeah. Importantly as well, which is again an embodiment of Earth, it is an action to pop it, so you can't pop it in response to the embodiment of Earth cracking. Your next turn.
It's an action.
It is an action, so you can't get the embodiment and come back. And they also have, there's other things as well, like we've already seen the form cycle at common, so the Earth form and the lightning form, which have on hit make the embodiments. Sometimes you're not going to care about those. Yeah, and
you can just spin it off to grab your resource and
limited all-star. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Constructed.
Okay, I've claimed potato level spice, and you said you reckon there's some chili powder.
I think there can be. You can put a little bit of chili powder on there. There are spots, like obviously constructed. You've got things like tunic, so it's very hard to get the amount of value from this. But I think if your Viscerai deck's quite aggressive, you're trying to end the game in a few turns. Like, I can see this being a good sideboard card against Nu, for example, where like they're giving you inertia tokens, right? Inertia and frailty tokens.
So like the disease tokens.
Yeah.
Even
or blood rot or whatever. Yeah. So like at the point where this destroys, say, an inertia token, that's a whole card and a resource, which is like way more value than a tunic's going to give you in a short game, right? If you kill a blood rot, it's a resource and 2 points. So again, huge amount of value, right? So I can see spots where, where you want to use this card most likely as a sideboard card, for those sort of matchups and to try to do those sorts of things.
Interesting. So I guess in some assassin matchups, if you are aggressive.
Yeah, I think only if you're aggressive, because otherwise it's hard to get, even if you're killing something that's going to really hurt you or whatever, it's hard to get that much value over the course of a 8-turn game or whatever.
Yeah.
Versus like Tunic or some other legendary equipment.
Yeah, we do know that there's other people who are spoiling cards today as well.
Yeah,
and we're making the assumption based on how LSS have done it that today, which is Monday our time, New Zealand, it's Rimblade Day.
Yeah.
So we're making these calls not knowing if there's some other equipment coming out, although no high rarity cards are being spoiled. They're saving that for the world premiere. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't think any legendaries,
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure what's been decided, but yeah, I think it's like, I know that they're hiding most things, like,
which
or
I think
a
is
lot of
awesome,
things. Yeah.
to be honest.
I guess not most things because they've already spoiled a bunch of commons or whatever, but they are hiding a lot of the powerful stuff of the set, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we also talked about there's some like random use cases where we know that channels are making an appearance again.
Yeah.
So on the turn where you potentially can't upkeep the channel and you don't have the correct pitch to be able to keep it around, you can bin it off. You don't get an extra effect, but you're also not losing anything, seeing as you, at least like I know the Millennium Tree triggers at the start of your action phase.
Yeah.
So you've already amped, and the channel,
So you can just
Thunder Valley, Lightning Valley,
Yeah.
something Valley.
So you can just
Only
kill it
triggers
off
once per turn. So
when
if
it's
you've already
going to
got
die
that,
anyway. Yeah.
But
There is another use case. There is another use case that I
we're
thought
scraping
of.
the barrel here.
We are scraping the barrel a little bit. Hey, maybe Living Legend, maybe when there's ice heroes in the future or whatever.
This guy, yeah. Cool. What should I play? This corset, or should I play Bloodshade Skeleta? Which one's going to be better in Living Legend? I don't know. Living Legend off the table.
No. Come on. Hey, like, Bloodshade Skeleta is like amazing to do like a big combo turn, but if you're having to play a grind game, if you're having to...
Right, it's terrible in this situation.
If you're having to grind against an Icelander who's giving you frost hexes, and you can use it, it blows up a frost hex. Now that's worth multiple cards. Because it costs them like 4 resources and a card to play a frost hex, right? Is it 4?
Might have got me. I don't like
killing frost hex is pretty big.
That is actually huge. In a matchup where the Icelander matchup, they're gonna have to combo you.
Yeah. Frost hex is part of their kill condition. And now you've got a sideboard card that can just kill it.
Okay. I don't know, LSS, if any of you guys are watching this, I don't know what you're paying this man, but a raise if it's in hugs. James White, maybe if you've given him a few smiles, something. It needs to go up because he is working hard to find a home for this common equipment in Living Legend.
When I was playing Oldham versus Icelander, I was playing like a card that like cost 2 resources to play it, and then an action point and 1 resource.
Imperial Warhorn.
Yeah, Imperial Warhorn. Do you know how many hoops I had to jump through just to kill a frost hex?
Yeah.
This thing does it with go again off an equipment.
Yeah, I mean, you were right. That is actually, I didn't think you would find one, but that is actually a use case where you could see this depending on, obviously it depends what we get out of Living Legend.
Yeah.
I can see a world where we know the end of the year, and this is actually a good pivot because I think, Living Legend, we've been talking about it, there is a calling at the end of the year.
Yeah.
The first one. And so currently it's just in skirmish season, but we're seeing Living Legend creep up. If we do get a Pro Tour, we do get something like that. This is sort of the high level strategy sideboarding for matchups and things that actually make all the difference at the higher level.
Yeah.
So there is a chance.
Also, expect us to go back to Aria shortly, right? So, like, there could be another Frost Hex hero.
Well, someone hasn't read the lore because Rosetta is an Aria. What you're talking about is Volcor.
Oh, sorry, that one. Look, you're the law guy. I'm the competitive guy.
Which actually I do think will be making an appearance back in Volcor. That's my call.
So Frost Hex could be back, mate.
Yes. I mean, if you're watching this on my channel anyway, so you would have seen my thoughts on it, but they did release the new Kasai lore. We know she's based on Kasai winning being top of the leaderboard.
That
in
was
real life.
really cool.
So,
though. Like, I'm not a huge lore person, but I did think that was so cool.
Yes.
That like something in
Player-driven.
real life, a player-driven thing in real life, affected like the lore, and they kind of put that into the lore. I think doing something like that is I haven't seen that in other card games, and I think that's really really cool.
Yeah, it is definitely a big step in the right direction. I do think that with the lore stuff, it's been a little few and far between. But if this is the direction they're going, and they've clearly got somebody who's capable of writing it again now. I know there was that chat where that's why there was a bit of a dip off, but it is amazing. So if they can keep this up, it's great. And obviously we know now that Kasai is marching away off the Volcor, so you are right in that.
I was wrong, but I was right.
Yeah, you were wrong, but you were right in theory. Is Icelander is a beloved hero.
Yeah.
I know so many people that are just itching to play Icelander. It's part of the reason why they're looking forward to the Living Legend format.
Well, could even just be another ice hero. Like I can see Frost Hex always being relevant in any hero that could make Frostbite tokens.
Wait, it's a specialization, isn't it?
Oh, is it a specialization? Okay.
Is it?
I don't know. If it is, you can edit this stuff out, right?
If it is, I'm leaving it in.
Fair enough. Yeah, maybe Frost Hex is a specialization.
We're going to do the quick search. This is going to be great for you guys that are watching at home, but I just need to know.
Well, we're saving you having to search if you don't know, right?
True. I'm almost certain.
Yeah, I think it is actually.
Loading. Yes.
Icelander specialization. Okay, well, there we go. But, I mean, if we go back to Volcor, they're going to print another Icelander, right?
There's
surely.
Yeah, I would think so. They do, LSS do love a little bit of fan service. I mean, it's part of the reason why, foiling out Illusionist deck costs $350,000,
Yep, I have a foil Enigma deck upstairs.
It's just insane with all the auras and everything. I do love it. Like, you can't start down that path and not finish it. But I think they've completed the cycle now. But in similar vein, if they're going back to Volcor, Icelander is so beloved. I think there would be riots in the street if they didn't give the people at least a different version of Icelander to play, in which case... Yeah,
well, it has to be a different version. The current version's allowed, so they can't really reprint that. You still wouldn't be able to play it.
Yeah. You know what I mean. You guys all know what I mean. But yeah, it'll be cool. But anyway, that is our spoiler. Hopefully, I know, Matt, you're going to Tampa for the world premiere.
So I'm really excited to be in Tampa for the world premiere. So I mean, as I've said a number of times, world premieres are my favourite events. Beyond Pro Tours, beyond anything. When we get to be the first people in the world to play with a new set, that is the most fun for me.
And I love that the LSS have gone, screw the naysayers. We're going to basically spoil a bunch of the cards on the day. The people that travel for it are going to get this. It's going to be so hyped, that event. And then obviously you've got the call-in the following day, and everybody's on the level playing field.
Yeah.
Because everybody had the same amount of time with the cards. And I think, yes, depending on what people open, bigger teams, there's some advantage, but who cares? It's going to be such an amazing weekend.
As well,
It's like, that's why we play. Right? It's for fun and because we enjoy it. So I think the whole setup for this world premiere and the lead into Rosetta is awesome.
I think there's also less competitiveness in these sorts of events. Like call-ins in the middle of season when everybody's been putting in a bunch of testing time and stuff. I think everybody gets really competitive and they're like, okay, I'm going to really try to top 8 this one or, do whatever in this one. I feel like the majority of people with these premieres are I just want to be there. I just want to be part of it. I just want to open the cards for the first time. I just want to have fun. I don't think anybody's really getting into that tense competitive mindset. And so it makes it a real kind of light-hearted, enjoyable thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So obviously you're going to be off to Tampa, but have you been playing much Flesh and Blood or anything recently? What have you been getting up to in
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
like
yeah.
I played Amsterdam, obviously. I haven't played any Paper Flesh and Blood since then, but I've mucked around a little bit on Teleshar with new contract, new regular, new, and just yeah, I'm really enjoying. Yeah, I'm really enjoying Assassin. I'm really enjoying the new hero, so I'm hoping she's going to stay relevant. Given that Arcane probably isn't her biggest friend, I don't know if she will.
Well, I think that's
we'll
going to
see.
be the balancing act. Because let's just be honest, like, I'm not a new enjoyer. I do really love the design and what LSS did with the hero. I do think that there needed to be like a bit more of a disruption class, and I didn't like that previously that seemed like it was Guardian, given that they also had the biggest fridge, the biggest attacks, the best weapons, so I do think shifting Assassin to be that disruption class, flavorfully it's awesome. And the whole, I mean, you can go watch any interview with James or Brian where they talk about the design of Partner Misspell, and I agree with everything they said. I think Nu is like a great hero, but I've been hit with one too many bombs. That I've had too many people fingering my deck, removing things from it. I've had, if I get hit with one more weakest link, and they get sliver token.
Oh, you're a Zen gamer, aren't you?
I did play Zen at Nationals, and the CC portrait went great.
Yeah.
The limited was
not so good.
Not so good, obviously. At National, I went in going, I just didn't get enough reps, didn't feel confident on Enigma, so I was like, look, I just don't really want to draft Enigma.
Yeah.
So obviously I drafted Enigma.
Yeah.
And that was the end of my Nationals, realistically. So should have stayed away. But the deck was good. I just clearly didn't have the reps and made some pretty key errors in certain spots.
Yeah.
That sort of cost me. But yes, going back, I think Nu's power level is pretty high, Zen power level pretty high. Both the Ninja and Assassin class don't typically deal with arcane damage too well.
Yeah.
So
well, Ninja might, and that they just might kill you and not care, but we'll see.
there is a lot of disruption. I would love to see some disruptive pieces tied to arcane damage. That's kind of what I want to see. Yeah. We've got that card. The funny thing, I don't know what its actual name is. All I know is Aether Earthbane. Felling of the Crown, I believe.
Which one's that one?
It's a three cost attack action. It's Earth, and it comes in for 4. But if you've got 4 or more Earth cards and banish, it gets +4, and you can decompose.
Yeah.
So you get to banish cards from your graveyard as long as you can fulfill the requirements, and then each player puts a card from the hand back on top of the deck.
Yeah.
So obviously,
it's a pretty big.
Pretty easy to skew that. If you go block up and then you're like, pitch a blue, come in with this, fulfill the requirements. Oh no, I don't have a card in my hand to put back.
Yeah, and
it's pretty strong
back. Yeah.
But I'd love to see more of that stuff tied specifically to Arcane in the set, where it's like,
if they take damage, they I don't know, have to pay some resources or lose a card or something like that, or can't play a certain thing on until the next turn. Or,
Runeblade has a couple as well. There's already the Consuming Volition, which I think if you've dealt Arcane, it has on hit, they discard a card.
Yeah.
There's a few bits and pieces you can work for it, but I think that's probably what, like you're right, like Ninja, especially Zen, it's just going to be like, oh no, arcane damage, you're dead.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see a little bit more disruption. I don't want every deck to have disruption pieces, but a little bit more scattered throughout.
I think some disruption on one side of every matchup is important for FAB, though. I think if 2 decks are just throwing their biggest hits against each other, it gets a little bit boring.
Yeah, and it skews it away. It's still a numbers-based game.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit more spice added into the mix. There's a little bit more room to...
It's not just throwing potatoes at people. It's putting some chili powder and trying to get them in the eye.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're really looking... But to be honest, I haven't even been playing CC. I'm really looking... I've got an LL, Living Legend event, this weekend. It's the only skirmish I can make it to. So I chose to make... I could play one. I chose to go play the Living Legend one.
Legend one, yeah.
Definitely going to play Runeblade. I'm currently tossing up either a pretty tried and true chain build.
Chain, yeah.
You get the little, you get the seeds, you get all the good stuff. Or I'm going to really
Lose.
pull off. Basically. I'm going to really lose, but I'll be having the most fun in the room, so who's the real winner? And I'm going to play Briar with my favourite card of all time, Blossoming Spellblade.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So I think in LL, you get Ball Lightning back, which is obviously another lightning card, so you can reasonably fuse that thing. I have done a little bit of testing. It does just get absolutely murdered by Zen, because the one key thing with putting Ball Lightnings in your deck is they don't have any block value. So
who's gonna play Zen? It's the best deck. Anybody who's playing these events is like, they're not just gonna bring some boring Zen deck, are they?
What would you play if you were playing Zen? Exactly my thought. I'm hoping, like, I do also think at this point...
I'm not playing though.
Yeah, but it is almost I don't know if the skirmish season with Living Legend is going to be quite the appropriate representation of what the format could be.
Yeah.
Because I think we're in a spot where it's a brand new format, and I agree with you, Zen is the best deck.
Yeah.
My only issue is I think not everybody, most players came post-Monarch, joined the game post-Monarch. There's a lot of cards pre-Monarch that these players would have just probably don't own because they've never had to.
Yeah.
But everybody,
Blue
lots
Sift.
of, yeah, well,
I saw that a bit in Living Legend.
But lots of people have Zen. So I think it's a pretty easy call. I'm going to get a stubby hammer for 50 cents, so there's probably people just giving them away. And I'm going to sleeve up my Zen deck. Yeah. So I think Zen is going to be a little bit of a menace through the skirmish season in Living Legend, and I do think it's the best deck, but I don't know if it's going to we're going to see a fair representation of what the format actually could be because of that.
Yeah, okay. No, that's fair.
Kind of inflated numbers for Zen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm probably just going to bring Briar, try and Spellblade people, and
have the most fun.
Yeah. Also, I think post Rosetta, she will get much better. It's literally an Earth and Lightning set, so she's going to have tons of weapons.
Yeah.
Post that, so it'll be interesting to see what she can.
I'm surprised you're not playing a Blitz calling, because a Blitz skirmish, because you've been playing quite a lot of Blitz lately, right?
Yeah. So this is actually awesome. So I haven't just sat down and recorded a FAB with Matt because I've got some time. I've actually had some time to play FAB again. I get Thursdays off. My wife lets me out of the house on Thursday evenings, which is the local armory. So I've been going there and seen a huge boom in attendance, which has been awesome. So last 3 weeks, I think it's been 20 people, 25 people, and then 20 people again last week.
Yeah.
It's been crazy, and it's been Blitz all the way through. I've dabbled in a little bit of Briar. This week, Mr. Right Time Gaming, Ian Kenderdine himself, is throwing down a spicy little brute challenge.
Yeah.
So he's signed up to be like the people's champion, so he's putting an extra pack up on the line for each of his games, which is awesome. And the first, as if you guys know Ian, he is a brute stan. He only plays brute. He loves rolling dice. It's all he wants to do. The first person on the night, if there is a person, to beat him in a brute mirror will also win a KO armory playmat. So he's putting that up as extra collateral. That's really cool. So it's really sick. So of course I normally like only Rune Blades, or have been for a little while, but I am going to be sleeving up the original KO.
Yeah. The dice rolling KO.
Reckless run, I think it is, or whatever. And I'm going to be rolling me some dice. I'm going full scab skins, and I'm also going to be playing, is it the knucklebone or the knucklehead, his headpiece, which you can roll. Yeah. We're going to try and go as high as we possibly can.
Roll a 6 on that, draw 6 cards.
I know. Oh. So we will, we'll see what we can do. And obviously I've got to hope that I match up into Ian, because I would love.
And now that it's a 30-person armory, that's not a given anymore.
It's not a given anymore. But I would just love, as a Runeblade player, to go in tonight and snatch his brute crown right off his head, roll and dice. 6.
Just gotta You just got to be careful not to break it. Those brute crowns, they're just kind of like thrown together with random leaves and twigs.
And a couple of wines or whatever. But yeah.
So don't snatch it too hard.
But yes, you can tell I'm pretty excited to actually be playing some FAB again more consistently. And Blitz it's actually an awesome format.
It's really been blowing up here in Auckland, I think, since you came back with a bit more time and you've kind of taken over the lead on organising this local Thursday night armory, right?
Yeah.
And it's been really cool. I mean, I've been watching all the stuff, like every week somebody is putting themselves up for bounty and giving extra booster packs. People have been doing extra playmat stuff, like the kind of old school community have really come back and generously hyping things up and giving things out.
It really shows that, and I think it's sort of out of the store manager, Flesh and Blood isn't their game.
Yeah.
So I think they were really trying to support the Flesh and Blood community, but they didn't know how, don't know the formats, don't know, what's coming up. And so I just offered a little bit of help and gave a little bit of a nudge in the right direction. And then really it's been the community that sort of stepped up and I'm not putting Ian's packs up, that's all on Ian, So it's been really awesome to see and just a ton of fun. I mean, if every week you get to, I know James talks about it where I've seen in interviews, he's like, people kind of want a third place. You got home and work, which is pretty standard, and then you kind of want a third. It's different for every people, but like the local card store used to be that place, and it's been really awesome to sort of see it become that place again
for a lot of people again,
at least for the FAB community here in Auckland. So really, really fun. But I've been loving Blitz. Great format. Obviously, we've got Dash and Briar, which are basically on the way out. I don't think they will survive the skirmish season.
Poor Dash.
Poor Dash. I know. I've been trying to drag this guy along to give a swan song, but he's a new gamer now, guys. He doesn't care about Dash. I'm here to tell you. The man, he's an assassin main.
It could be true. No, Dash always had a place in my heart, but right now I am really enjoying assassin.
Yeah. I think it's been fun, and then obviously, we've got a new limited format that's going to be coming, so I'm definitely be looking for that. And then we have ProQuest season in October, I believe, and CC is
for Pro Tour Europe.
Yeah, Pro Tour Europe, which we can talk about because I'm planning Europe for later in that year, so doing the double trip probably is a little tough. So for me, it will be, I got no PTI enough, so I'd have to qualify. I need an invite through ProQuest, and then I could probably have my arm twisted enough to come. But
there we go.
Where are you hoping Pro Tour Europe lands?
I mean, I would love a Pro Tour in Germany. I've always wanted a Pro Tour in Germany, but I think
there's a few bit of paperwork.
It's very hard to make that work in terms of prize money and stuff like that. There's a few laws there, and I think some games have done it. Some games have pulled it off before, esports and stuff. So I think that there's a possibility, but it's very, very difficult. And there's a lot of hoops to jump through there. So I would love to see Germany.
I love Berlin as a city. It's like one of my favorite places. Like bit of a foodie. It's it's just awesome, just to get around and tons of sight, lots of things to do. It's really awesome. I'm with you. I think Germany, specifically Berlin. I'd love to see. I probably have two others. One, firstly, Greece, like a Pro Tour Athens.
Oh, Athens, that could be quite cool.
Could you
I'd be down for that.
Finals of the Pro Tour in the middle of the Colosseum?
Yeah.
That's probably
that's probably a bit over the top.
Well, actually, I guess it's not. It wouldn't be the Colosseum, it's the Parthenon. That's what they call it, right? The Parthenon. Yeah. The Colosseum is in Italy. Come on, Aaron. So not the Colosseum, the Parthenon. That would be epic, and obviously, turns it into a bit of a holiday. You can easily pop over to an island, do something like that, make a trip out of it. Play the game, see the world. And the community there. The current world champion, obviously hailing from Greece, so they've got a pretty awesome community over there, so I think it'd be great. And then the other one, obviously I'm from the UK.
Yeah.
They've had France, Spain, which is all continental Europe. Amsterdam, so I feel
London?
Yeah, London, Edinburgh would also be
Edinburgh?
dope.
Okay.
But one of those two, I feel like if they're going to one, it probably would be London.
Yeah, London's a little boring, but it is sort of like the central hub. I mean,
There's
sorry,
something-
I'm probably offended some
The
people.
man-
I used to live in London.
The man who's travelled too much. London, boring. Apparently. Yeah, who wants to go to one of the biggest cities with the most things to do and there's nightlife and it's greatest top 3 places. Yeah. It's too much. That's the thing. It's overwhelming for Matt. Yeah. So you would. Where else in the UK would you rather see it than? If
No. If it's in the UK, probably London. Yeah, it's like makes the most sense, I guess, for a big event. Yeah. But I just really want to see Germany.
Yeah, Germany would be cool. I think if UK, I love Edinburgh. I used to live in Edinburgh for a little while. I don't know what the flesh and blood scene is like up in Scotland. And it's not really a travel hub. That is the one thing London probably offers. It's like pretty accessible from everywhere.
Yeah, it is
in the world. So that makes sense. But again, Germany would be epic. If they can
not very accessible from New Zealand. Literally the other side of the globe.
I mean, as accessible as Amsterdam and Paris and Barcelona.
I mean, it's the same. Yeah,
Just Europe. It just is what it is for us. I mean, they have already said we know Pro Tour APAC is following, and this is way in the future now.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see, obviously, Australia would be amazing. I'd love to see New Zealand get one.
Oh,
it's the
imagine
same.
that. Pro Tour in New Zealand?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it'd be hard to complain. It's hard for us to complain about like a place like London and then say, but everyone should come to New Zealand.
Where it's like impossible. It's like just as hard for everybody
so
to get to.
Maybe somewhere like the Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore.
Yeah.
Like there's, I think, Hong Kong.
Yeah, Hong Kong would be pretty
awesome.
good actually. Yeah.
So obviously, like Team Blue Pitch, there's a great scene there. So, it'd be interesting to see. There's obviously a slew of pro play stuff coming up and events. If you guys aren't playing, go get to your skirmish, play some Living Legends, support the format. Even though you're probably going to get zenned out of the room pretty quick. Blitz. All sorts of things. I think it's all happening.
And then Tampa Bay. See you there?
Yeah, you won't see me there, unfortunately. But you'll see this guy. And then you're going to a few things, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to the Calling Leon, which is a couple of weeks after. Calling Sydney, which is like the week after, and then Leon. So
you're basically a pro player.
They just happen to line up with the work trips.
Yeah, true. Or did you line them up for work trips?
Who knows?
Okay, I do think at this point, I've got to be honest with you, and the people watching agree. You're playing quite a bit now. There's no more excuses, right? We need a top finish out of you.
Come on.
We need a top finish out of you. You've got a trillion calling top 8s already. Been very close. You've also got a calling win, which was here. Very close.
A long time ago, yeah.
A long time ago, but very close on a few over in the US as well. I know Pro Tour top 4 competitor Joel Repta screwed you out of what probably would have been a win. At a calling
probably would be a win.
He just baited you with a chain of eminence or something. As the story goes anyway, you can message Joel about that.
I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah.
I bring it up every time at dinner or whatever. You screwed me when you unintentionally cheated me in a top 4.
But I would love to see like just a Kiwi face, doing well over on the callings and over in Europe and all of these events. We have
Daryl in New Zealand won a calling. So, there are Kiwi faces out there. It's just a little hard. It's really hard from New Zealand to travel. So, we don't have very many people at each Pro Tour and stuff. But, Ben Dodd's been doing really well as well internationally. I think he's got a couple of Pro Tour top 16s now.
Yeah. And we've got quite a few players that are saving PTIs, especially for Worlds as well. I know a few people that sort of had Worlds in Japan pegged, so could have travelled but had decided they were going to hold out. So I know there's quite a New Zealand contingent going over.
There we go. So here we go, New Zealand Worlds.
Yeah, hopefully we can see in New Zealand.
How would that be for the storyline? New Zealand brings home the World Championship. Started in New Zealand, and
It would be. It's a full circle. For
it's a full circle.
I'm sure LSS they would prefer if they were going to pick somebody to win.
They want a Kiwi? Yeah.
They want a Kiwi.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. But anyway, okay. Thank you guys for joining us. Obviously,
hope you enjoyed the spoiler and the rambles.
Yeah, we really want to thank LSS for including us in the spoiler season, especially because we know they've really narrowed it down. So big shout out
appreciate
to them supporting, and we love to fly the flag for like New Zealand content creation and everything like that as well. Next month, Fab with Matt will be with Dennis.
Yep.
Unless he flakes out. No pressure, Dennis. Otherwise, I'm more than happy, to sit down on the couch again and talk some smack. So
fair enough. Oh,
all right, guys.
As always, if you have any questions or anything that you want to see on a Fab with Matt, post it in the comments. We'll see it, and we'll try to incorporate it.
Yeah, I definitely think post Rosetta we'll do a little bit of an overview, pick some of our favorite cards, and have a little chat.
People really enjoyed the draft videos. I got a lot of really positive feedback about the draft videos, so I might try to do that again with Rosetta as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely record one of your drafts. Clearly, I need some work. So.
You can put in the work with Rosetta. That's your time.
We'll put in the work.
Room lights set.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
Till next time.